Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's joint webinar with MuleSoft and Nous Infosystems on JHA Integration Solution using MuleSoft. My name is Kushagar, and I will be your host for the webinar. Before we begin our session, I would like to inform you that you can type in your questions during the webinar, and we will try and answer those at the end of the session. In this webinar, we will talk about MuleSoft's capabilities and solutions for financial services. We will also be talking about some of the most common challenges banking companies face in application integration and how Nous' JHA Integration Solution helps overcome these challenges through automated templated connectivity, automated aggregation and deployment, and role-based data masking. Finally, we will be doing a live demo of our JHA integration solution and take up questions at the end of the session. A quick introduction of Nous Infosystems. We are a leading global IT service provider delivering innovative technology solutions to customers across industries with more than 2 decades of experience in the technology and business. We have enabled many Fortune 500 companies and small and medium-sized enterprises to achieve digital excellence through testing and quality engineering services. We have served many customers across the globe in business verticals, including banking and financial services, insurance, healthcare and life sciences, retail, and manufacturing. A quick overview of MuleSoft. MuleSoft is a Salesforce company, and as of 2021, it has been named as a leader for the 6th consecutive time in the Gartner Magic Quadrant report for enterprise iPaaS and full lifecycle API management. MuleSoft platform unifies areas of integration, API monitoring, security, automation, and marketplace. It's time to introduce our speakers. We have Srinivasan Narayanan, who is AVP Client Solutions with Nous Infosystems. We have Sajin Matthews, Practice Head, Enterprise Integration with Nous Infosystems, and we have Prashant Kumar, Team Lead, MuleSoft Developer, Nous Infosystems, and Rick Mason, Lead Solutions Engineers with MuleSoft. Now let me hand it over to Srini.
Mr. Kushagra for the kind introductions. Srini here. Very good morning to you all and appreciating time to join us today. Great to be a part of this webinar, and let me highlight some of the key points that led us to create this JHA integration solution on MuleSoft platform. In the trends in banking, traditional banks and credit unions are still focused on security, process, and compliance, and not on end-user experience in our, in our view. This hasn't gone unnoticed either by challenger banks or by end users themselves, 77% of whom are reportedly disappointed by their banking delivery. In the digital era, end users want simple transactions and interactive customer service that they will happily juggle physical and digital options to meet the need. They may prefer a third-party mobile app for foreign currency exchange or cashless payments, but still visit their local branch for financial advice or loans. Traditional banks and credit unions face some well-known internal obstacles when it comes to innovation. There is naturally a risk-averse culture to start with, as well as famously siloed process and slow decision-making cycles, as we've seen in our previous webinar in the series. Deregulation across much of the world, banks and credit unions have forced to share their data with third parties. That has allowed banks to award with venture capital to disrupt the market with slick, frictionless mobile banking and services that maximize user experience. Now more than ever, the battle for commercial accounts grows more intense by day as competitors relentlessly target business account holders, and digital disruption flood the marketplace with innovative and agile solutions for payments, lending, and financial management. Today's account holder is looking for the technology, speed, and convenience that we have all become accustomed to. The ability to quickly provide answers to the customers and members, complete transactions, and deliver service could mean the difference between someone who hangs up the phone or someone who becomes an account holder for life. Jack Henry Banking is a leading provider of integrated data processing systems, and approximately 1,000 banks ranging from community banks to multi-billion-dollar institutions with assets up to 50 billion. With Jack Henry, you will get leading core digital lending, security, and payment capabilities, so one can drive efficiencies and improve the account holder experience across all the touchpoints and channels. Jack Henry solutions help bank, credit unions, de novo banks and fintechs and growth in commercial account holders, increasing operational efficiency and improving account holder experience, and finally reducing the overall risk and frauds. MuleSoft has helped banks to innovate and address these challenges around the financial products through any point platform in the product stack. Nous, with its deep domain expertise in banking industry, has partnered with MuleSoft in building solutions that automate and bring cost savings. I'm really excited to once again to welcome all of you to this second webinar in which we give you insights into game-changer solutions developed by Nous on top of MuleSoft platform to address this topic. Over to you, Rick.
Hey, hi. Thank you, Srini, for the setting up the context. Currently, Srini was mentioning about some of the challenges in the banking application integration. We have relatively many challenges related to the accessibility of data, the need to synchronize data between systems, some of the data aggregation challenges we have as data is coming from different systems and need to be aggregated for a specific use case. These are some of the key challenges the financial institutions face due to siloed data. Also, some of the key areas that we innovate is to bring reusable process flows and automation of business processes without the need of coding. With this, we can improve the productivity as well as ensure faster delivery. Having understood some of the key problems, let's now take a look at some of Now's accelerators that can solve customer problems. If you see towards the complex and chaotic environment that is created by spaghetti coding and lack of reusability. So when you have different systems from cloud platforms, the different customer applications, the customers and partners and suppliers users, different social medias, and integrating that becomes a really complex and chaotic task. With the help of MuleSoft, we can bring in agility. So MuleSoft, with this well-known API-led connectivity, can bring agility, and using the AnyPoint platform, it can integrate different applications seamlessly. When we introduce Now's accelerators on top of MuleSoft, what we experience is that it significantly brings down the cost. We have created pre-built solution for many of the banking processes and scenarios, like Customer 360, where it can aggregate data between different banking products and give you a unified customer view. Data synchronization, where you need to take data from different upstream application and propagate it to downstream application and sync the data. We may have to do a report generation, statement generation, which are common in banking. So we have all this built without the need of coding. Our accelerators can cut down cost by 40%, reducing the design, development, and testing effort. Now let's take a look at the use case that we are going to demonstrate in today's webinar, JHA integration templates. Now's JHA solution provides standard set of MuleSoft templates for JHA core banking integration with other banking products. We have used MuleSoft Anypoint platform, reusable data synchronization flows created in MuleSoft, and the Nous aggregation framework in order to seamlessly integrate JHA core banking products with Salesforce and any other application and products that are being used in the banking. Now let us focus on the solution details in the next session. Towards your right, you can see how we have built the templated connectivity, where it offers connectivity to leading banking products as well as JHA. In the transformation layer, we have the data transformation and the business processes to take care of the JHA objects and address the banking processes. On the UI layer, we can display to any of the mobile devices as well as web applications the synchronized data. Now let me take you through the next part of the demo, where my colleague Prashant will be taking you and showcasing the various scenarios related to JHA integration. Over to you, Prashant.
Hello, everyone. So today I will be showcasing our solutions, mainly the JHA integration solutions. And then after that, we will be showcasing a second version of the aggregator solution. So JHA integration templates actually enables us to connect JHA with any other system, that is Salesforce. So for example, let's say that there is one account object that is also in the Salesforce, but also in some banking platform such as this. So let's say this is a JHA enabled bank. And here, we have customer and accounts that are loaded into these banks. And similarly, we have same objects in the Salesforce. Our intention here is to showcase that if something changes in one system, it gets propagated to the another system and the vice versa. So we will be showcasing some data synchronization use cases that are unidirectional, bidirectional, on-demand, real-time, batch time, etc. So let's start with this. So for example, I can showcase in the Salesforce part, there is only one account here, salaried. So let's go and create another account into the Brooks Bank application. So it's very simple. Let's click here and put the name as Bob said. Some other things, for example, blocked. So let's say that when the account is first opened, it is in the blocked state and the type as standard. So as soon as I do this account will be created into the JHA, and our MuleSoft solution will actually push this data to the Salesforce within seconds. Normally, the scheduler will be running, according to the configuration. So it will take seconds or minutes. It depends on how it has been configured. So you can see that the data that was there eventually came to the Salesforce. Similarly, if we change something here, it will go back to the JHA system. So for example, let's take this account ID and search this right now. So if I search this, sorry. So if I search this account, we can see that the status right now is blocked and type is standard. So let's go ahead and change some fields here into the Salesforce system, and we will see if that is propagated to our JHA system or not. So let's say I will put it from a standard to, let's say, platinum, and from blog to active, and save it. It will take a few seconds, but all of this happens automatically. We have a set of templates that we have configured for the account object and the customer object. And similarly, it can be configured for any object that is common between two systems. JHA can be swapped by some other banking systems. Salesforce can be swapped by some other banking systems. But the whole idea here is to reduce the effort in a manner that something like this can be configured, updated, and used within minutes. So you can see here that the blog status is active and the tab is platinum. So this is one use case that where we saw that the accounts can be synchronized instantaneously between the systems. Similarly, we can showcase for the contacts. So for example, let's say that there is a contact box already present into the Salesforce system, and the same, it has the customer ID as this. So if I go back and search this system, you can see that the customer is also present here. But right now the address is something in the Minnesota. But let's say that, let's follow a simple use case of the address change and how that happens. So for example, let's say a digitized bank like this has something of a form, mailing address change form. So a user just has to go here, put in the name, put in the email number, email ID, and then put in the new address. So I will just put the new address. I can show you the previous address is this. So I will put it to New York. Let's say the city is New York. The state is New York. Let's choose a identification information or address proof. For example, it could be a driving license, and submit it. So as soon as it will be submitted, a service request will be created in the Salesforce system, which when acted upon by its user will actually change the contact address in the Salesforce first. But as soon as the address in the contact is changed, it will also be propagated to our JHA system. So for example, I will go here and search for the service contracts. So I can see that there is one address change request for the Bob. So you can go and see the related that, okay, we have this driving license attached here. It's a sample thing just for showcasing. So if let's say that the user came here, the worker came here, saw that, okay, everything checks out, goes back to the service request and acts upon it. And in acting upon it, it will say that, okay, everything is approved. Let's change the address. So as soon as that happens, you can see that if you go to this contact, the address here has changed. Now, if we go back here and search this account and customer again, we will see that this address has changed in this system as well. So that's the power of it. We have a set of templates, set of courses, which requires minimum configuration, and it can be deployed to the cloud or any other MuleSoft platform within seconds. But it gives you this power of instant synchronization between two systems or more than two systems, depending on how you have configured it. Similarly, if we go back to our previous solution that we showcased in our previous webinar, the aggregator solution, where we showcased this customer 360 dashboard, where we had one aggregator which pulled data from multiple systems and showcased it in one simple web page. in a different graph and different statistics. So we have added on top of this one more JHA scenario. For example, let's say the account statement generation part. Now we have data where we want in our systems. And let's say that we want to create some account statement and send it to the user. So right now, if I hit this send statement, it will say that API is unavailable. But shortly, what we will do is we will create one API through aggregator system, deploy it, and we will showcase that, okay, very easily an account statement could be generated and sent to the user. So this was our previous core banking aggregator thing. On top of that, we have created another one, customer account statement API. It has 4 simple nodes which are required to generate an account statement, some contact information, some profile information, accounts, and their transactions. So I will go ahead and simply deploy this application on the fly. Right now it is trying to search if there is already an application deployed to the cloud with this definition. It will come back and display the information. So application is not on the cloud. So let's deploy one quickly. It will fetch all the environment that is configured in the cloud. So let's choose the dev environment. So slowly, it will start creating this application in the background and then packaging it and then deploying it to the cloud. Meanwhile, I can showcase while this is happening, while the application is uploading to the cloud. Meanwhile, I can showcase the JHA templates that we were talking about. It's a set of code. We have proper exception handling. We have proper configurations. If you come here, you will see all of the JHA to Salesforce, Salesforce to JHA, and these could be any banking systems. But as the configuration part, one needs to change only one configuration file, which will be specific to the system. But the 90% of it will remain the same. We have a simple mapping file that maps the XML from the JHA APIs to the Salesforce fields, which is pretty easy and pretty visual to do so. So this is our SF accelerator JHA integration template, which we have deployed for customer in the account object. So while this upload and everything happens, I will go ahead and showcase the details of this aggregator. So this aggregator is actually a very visual tool. You have different options. You can remove or add another node. So for example, if you want to see that, what is the API that is attached to this particular node, you can go to this option and you can see here that, okay, this is a Salesforce contact API. You can see all the technical configuration that's there, the URL, the method, the query parameters, URI parameters. It also has recorded the response that this API provides. It's a sample response. It will change according to the real data that it will get. Similarly, these lines are running through the nodes. So that shows that, okay, there is a relationship between these two nodes. So if I come here and I say that, okay, what is the relationship between account and contact? I can easily go to this relationship configuration, go through each of these tabs, and I will find out that, okay, the response from the contact Salesforce has an ID field in it. I need to provide that value to the contact ID in this account API. And that's it. It's a very visual tool, graphical tool. You can simply click and match any number of fields on the both sides. So I will go back and check if the upload is complete. Meanwhile, we can go to this screen and see that, okay, this newly generated application has been deployed, and it's in the deployment stage right now. You just saw that it has started, and similarly, the status will be reflected here too. So now that this application is deployed, we can go back to our aggregator part, the customer dashboard, and we can try this send a statement again. This time it should send a statement to the email ID. First, it will fetch the data using the aggregator definition that we have just provided. And then it will, so it says that customer statement data has been retrieved. Once I click OK, it will actually prepare a PDF statement and send it to the user. It takes a while. Meanwhile, you can see that this particular, so a statement has been generated and sent to the email ID. It will take around 60 seconds for the email to arrive. Meanwhile, I will explain this particular dashboard. So you can see that data is coming from the multiple systems. For example, this card here, the profile data is coming from some application. The image, the address is coming from the Salesforce. Multiple accounts has been gathered from the plate, from the internal bank accounts and other sources. Consolidated balance and liability and expenses has been shown here. Similarly, you can see the payment mode. Here we have shown that in-store, online, and others. It has been analyzed on the basis of transactions that we have gotten. Yeah, so you can see that the account statement has arrived. We can go and check this very quickly. So if I click on this account statement, you will see that this has been prepared just now using our own API that we created through our customer API aggregator framework. You can see all the personal data is here, all the name and the address is here that has been taken from the different system. The transactions which has been taken from the JHA part that is coming here through those APIs. And it has a consolidated view of the account statement according to our template. So this is a very powerful tool, combining our JHA templates with our aggregator framework. A lot can be achieved. And all of it happens within minutes. Everything is through a framework which has been rigorously tested, which has been used multiple times.
Thanks, Sajin and Prashant. I think that was a wonderful demo. Like we've seen in the last time, Customer 360 in the webinar 1, today we've seen the JHA acceleration, the templates, and how easy it is kind of integrate the solutions to bring dynamism and agility into the banking with MuleSoft and Nous solutions. If you look at the benefits, on an average, we are seeing 17% reduction in architecture and design efforts, 20% on the testing efforts, 40% in development, and more importantly, agility and customizable to business needs of a particular financial institutions. That's on the framework side. If you look at the business benefits, of course, faster time to market, which is the critical for digital banking initiatives, standardized access up to financial data, improved data availability within role-based access and security, which was a concern which we spoke earlier. That's been addressed. Finally, improve scalability and production services with the improved customer satisfaction. End of the day, in banking, a satisfied customer is customer for life, and that's very critical. You want to make sure that that part is addressed in the in the digital disruptions and the the innovations in the banking. With that, I think we come to the Q&A portion, and I'm turning it back to Kushagra to address any questions and that has come along. Kushagra, back to you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Srini. It's time to take some questions. So here's the first one. Does MuleSoft provide a connector to connect with JHA? Rick, could you please respond to that? Thank you.
Yes, certainly. As a matter of fact, no, I mean, we do have a JHA connector, but here's the thing, and the big differentiator between MuleSoft and a big ISV like Nous. MuleSoft has to be agnostic to the things that we connect to, because we connect to everybody. And what we do, what that does is it allows the last mile, as it were, to be done by other providers, because we cannot play favorites. There's more than JHA in the system. There's FIS, there's Pfizer, whatever you can think of in the back end of any banking system. So we purposely, in our Fins Accelerator, for instance, for the back end, we use a mocked data model, but with no actual connectors to the systems themselves. And that's where Nous comes in. And they've created this thing that allows you to do it very quickly. Does that answer the question?
It does. Thank you, Rick. The next question is, how easily can we reuse this template to integrate with other banking systems like JHA? Sajin, could you please take that up?
Yeah. So I assume the question was like, how easily is it to reuse the template?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So these templates are built in a standard way, in which you can use this for JHA, but similarly we have similar templates in our accelerator framework, which you can use with any of the major core banking system, and it serves the similar purpose as how it is kind of integrating the JHA. So alternatively, what you can also do is that you may use the MuleSoft Anypoint Studio for any kind of modifications or any kind of configuration changes that you want to bring to your system and use it as part of your solution. So these are the two ways in which you can address this.
Sure, Sajin. Thank you for answering. We have a couple of other questions as well. What's the total effort reduction by utilizing this template? Prashant, if you could take that up, please.
Yeah, so actually, according to our estimate, there is 40% of the effort reduction, and at least 3x to 4x faster integrations can be achieved through this template, through these templates.
Okay, thanks, Prashant. Do we need to make any changes in the template to deploy it to Cloud Hub, RTF, on-prem, or in short, independent? Sajin, could you answer that, please? Thank you.
Can you please repeat the question once more?
Sure, Sajin. The question is, do we need to make any changes in the template to deploy it to Cloud Hub, RTF, on-prem, or in short, is this template platform independent?
Okay. So in reality, you don't need to make any changes. You know that the MuleSoft code are platform agnostic in the sense that it can be deployed to any of the offerings of the MuleSoft deployment model. So you don't need to make any changes based on the platform that you have to deploy it.
Sure, thank you, Sajin. Another question, do the templates work for customers and accounts only?
No, actually, these are two standard objects that we have chosen to demonstrate, but it can work for any object that is common between two systems which we are integrated.
Sure, thank you. The last question for today. Can it be used for any other business scenario other than statements?
Yeah, I can probably address that. What we have showcased today is one of the use case related to banking, and we have showcased how the JHA APIs can be used and can create statements. So the platform that we have built is the Nous aggregator platform, and we can use that to create any similar use case. In the previous webinar, we have seen how a customer 360 application can be generated without writing a code. Similarly, like statements, similarly, any of the banking scenarios, it can be used for lending, it can be used for mortgage solutions. It can be used for any of the business processes that are common. So the power is that you have that framework with which you can create flows in a very simple way, in a no-code way, and use it for any of the scenarios related to banking. So we'll be happy to showcase more scenarios in our upcoming webinars. And the platform has that capability.
Sure, Sajjan. Thank you for answering that. With this, we come to the end of this webinar. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. We appreciate your participation. Due to time constraints, we won't be able to take any more of your questions, but we will connect with you very soon over the email to answer the remaining questions. Please sign up for free evaluation consultation. You can also reach our experts on the mentioned emails on the slide, or you can also write us at info@nousinfosystems.com. Thank you once again and have a great day. Bye for now.